Hey, what up everybody? This is Steve Breach coming to you here today. I tried to make this video yesterday, and it honestly ended up turning into a video on Brie Bella's retirement. But Daniel Bryan retired from wrestling on Monday, and basically it looks like Brie Bella is going to be walking away from wrestling as well. Obviously, I think that Daniel Bryan will always have a place inside of a WWE. There's already, fans coming up with, fantasy booking ideas of him becoming the GM of Raw, much like Mick Foley did when he retired from the WWF. He came back and he became the good commissioner, which was a good breath of fresh air. And a lot of people who've been watching wrestling for a long time who haven't seen a good guy GM would wonder, how a good guy GM fits in. And basically, it makes your heels stronger because of the fact that the GM is always there to try and bend the rules to make it go the right way. The heels would have to cheat even more to bend the rules to get them going in their direction, where Triple H kept on coming out on top and sort of foiling Mick Foley's plan about trying to get the championship off him and onto the right guy that was doing things the right way. And that would be fun for Daniel Bryan. I think Daniel Bryan would be a good character. He definitely is somebody that the fans are behind, and the fans believe the words that come out of his mouth, and they can, sort of bend this their own way of basically, not making it 100% copy of what was going on with Mick Foley. But I think that WWE will bring back Daniel Bryan as long as it's not into a physical role, as often as it fits into character. Definitely, I think WWE notices that Bryan is a guy that the fans are behind. It's almost like Bryan is one of us with his height and his weights. He talked about it in his retirement speech. He's not going to be the biggest, most imposing guy, but once he gets you down on the mat, he's going to make you submit. He's going to make you tap out, or he's going to break your leg. That's basically who Daniel Bryan is. The debate is from here on out. I don't think it's up for debate at all. Is Daniel Bryan a WWE Hall of Famer? That's an easy slam dunk for the WrestleMania 30 moment, for him winning the championship at SummerSlam. People will complain saying that he only really had 1 year on top, and that year wasn't even that spectacular. But for anybody that paid attention to wrestling, from Daniel Bryan's debut, whether you debate it back to the NXT in 2009, the Nexus debut in 2010, him getting fired, him coming back at SummerSlam, the whole him winning the Money in the Bank, and then him winning the championship from the Big Show, and then him having that feud against Big Show and Mark Henry. And if you were a fan of his, people saying, well, he'll lose it at the Rumble. Well, he'll lose it at the Chamber. He didn't lose it at those events. He went to WrestleMania as the World Heavyweight Champion. And yeah, he lost it in 28 seconds. And maybe that was supposed to be his burying moment. That was supposed to be like, taking the title off of Jack Swagger. And that was supposed to drop him down in the ranks. And we'll just see where he lands out. Well, he didn't fall to the bottom. He kept fighting. He had those matches against CM Punk that were spectacular. He had a best 2 out of 3 falls match against Sheamus. And the fans kept on going with him and going with him. They stuck him in a tag team with Kane, which easily would have been the death for anybody else in the WWE. And he kept on fighting and fighting and fighting. And then even when it got to the point where it looked like he was going to get back into the title picture, WWE snatched that away from him and just put him into a feud with the Wyatts, where basically he joined him and he was going to help them defeat the Usos or some shit like that. And he was supposed to have a match against Sheamus at WrestleMania 30. And lucky for WWF, they woke up, they smelled what was going on, that the people did not like what was going on with WrestleMania 30, and we almost had a walkout moment like we did with WrestleMania 31, where fans were just going to say, fuck this, no. And lucky for us, somebody got to Vince, somebody got to Triple H, somebody got to whoever writes the show, and was able to put Daniel Bryan into that moment. And WrestleMania 30 was, I know that it was nothing near the plan of what it was supposed to be. It wasn't even the plan of what it was supposed to be 2 months before WrestleMania 30. But you can make a movie off of Daniel Bryan's career just in WWE. And I honestly have his book, and I haven't even cracked the cover on it. But I'm sure it's a great story to read just that history of time, because it never was what was supposed to be. The fans made Daniel Bryan easily. I believe that he is going to be a Hall of Famer, but what is up for debate is, do you rush him? I know that, when Shawn Michaels retired at WrestleMania 27, they put him in at WrestleMania 28. When Edge retired after WrestleMania 27, I screwed that up. When Michaels retired at 26, they put him in at 27. When Edge retired at 27, they put him in at 28. But I don't know. I mean, obviously, Daniel Bryan had his last match a year ago, and you can debate whether if he retired then after that match against Sheamus, which was the SmackDown after WrestleMania, or, because of the fact he kept on fighting and he kept on trying to get back, if he retired now. I know that you have already, basically said that Sting is going to be in the Hall of Fame. If Daniel Bryan and Sting go into the Hall of Fame, no doubt in my mind, Daniel Bryan bumps Sting, and Sting becomes that number 2 guy on the list. I sold my Hall of Fame ticket. If Daniel Bryan goes into the Hall of Fame this year, I'm screwed. I'm on the outside. I've already said that the WrestleCon show looks really fun. I want to go to that. But that seems like a must-see moment that I don't want to see. I'm fine with Daniel Bryan going into the Hall of Fame. I don't want my argument to be that WWE needs to put Daniel Bryan into the Hall of Fame next year just because of the fact I don't have a ticket. But I think that you have Sting lead this class of people, and we don't really know who's going to be on the rest of this thing, whether it's going to be JBL, Jackie, Vader, guys like that. I think Daniel Bryan deserves to lead his class, and I know that we don't have a lot of Hall of Famers from here on out. We've got Undertaker whenever he decides to go out, he'll go into there. Rock, whether if he wants to go into Hall of Fame sooner than later. There are definitely 2 guys that are coming up that could lead their class. If you fall in to a dead spot, you could put Vince McMahon into the Hall of Fame and sort of put over the fact that everything he accomplished, making WrestleMania, the biggest. But I think if Vince was going into the Hall of Fame, they would have sort of highlighted him on like a big anniversary show, maybe 25. But I mean, at this point, I know that it's a long way down the road. And if you do the math, it's probably not going to add up to the fact that Vince McMahon is still going to be with us. Although that I hope Vince McMahon's with us for another 100 years, or however old he is, because of everything that he's given us. And I think that maybe you wait until WrestleMania 50 to put over him. Because, I mean, if you put over Vince at WrestleMania 38, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. Put him over an anniversary spot, WrestleMania 35 or WrestleMania 40. Doesn't really have the same feeling that WrestleMania 50 has. But I think that Daniel Bryan should lead his class, and I think that definitely it would be one of the hottest tickets out there. Don't make it where you have to debate, Daniel Bryan versus Sting, and make Sting do the job again, because I think that Daniel Bryan deserves to lead his class, and wherever WrestleMania 33 is going to be, Orlando, Minnesota, Boise, Idaho, Detroit, Michigan. That name doesn't even fit in there. Somebody said I think that's actually going there, but it's just the fact that we don't know where WrestleMania is going to be. I think that he deserves to lead a class, but it definitely, without a doubt, is a Hall of Famer whenever that is going to be.